is the easiest game left. Only Miami, potentially, now. Hey, everyone. It's Ryzen.
And Liz.
And somehow they can't beat the worst team in football outside of maybe the Dolphins. Not only did they lose to Jacksonville, they got blown out by Jacksonville. By a bottom 5 quarterback in Trevor Lawrence and a bottom, 5 offense. Made them look good.
Worst defense?
A team that was literally giving up. Jacksonville was literally on the verge of giving up on the season. There were guys that were literally not playing last week. They weren't even trying.
Well, now they have some hope.
And you let that team dog walk you.
Number one.
With their bust quarterback and their terrible coach. And you got outcoached by Doug Peterson. That is not a promising sign for Gerard Mayo's coaching career.
No.
So the defense is terrible. I'm pretty close to calling for Covington to be fired. Because I know there's injuries, but there's no excuse for the level of poor play. The Jaguars do not have a good offense. They just don't. And to be dog-walked, they give up, 150 rushing yards?
Something like
that. To
that.
a team that's not very good at running the ball? Okay. I don't know how Covington may not survive this game. He might be fired.
I don't know if AVP will survive this game.
There's a 50-50 chance AVP is gone.
There's a 50-50 chance that Mayo gets fired too.
There's
Honestly.
less chance for Mayo, but I mean it's not promising.
No, it's not.
Because I don't know how this can continue.
I don't either.
I mean they're not even competitive against bad teams. And it's not Drake May. Drake May was fantastic. He had 2 turnover-worthy plays, and that's it from my count. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, 276 yards, and might have had 3 if they had, actually run the last drive. I don't understand why New England keeps doing this. You have, a minute something left, and you decide...
They just give up, basically.
You decide that you're not going to run a 2-minute drill.
They just give up. It's the strangest thing ever.
But you can practice.
It's really strange.
You're still trying to win games. It could help you when you get in that situation in a close game.
It's bizarre.
It is very bizarre, and that is the kind of culture. I'm sorry, I don't want to see. I don't want to see that. I don't care if it's 45-7. If there is a minute 30 left, you have a rookie quarterback. You run a proper 2-minute drill. Period.
You still try.
You do, and because it is useful to see what you have.
Mm-hmm.
It is useful to get the quarterback practice. It is useful to get the team reps.
Yeah, exactly.
This game was over when the special teams gave up a horrendous 97-yard punt return touchdown.
Yeah, that was atrocious.
There was a block in the back on the gunner, on Schooler. But that doesn't explain everybody else who was terrible. I mean, Barrington himself took a terrible angle. You're the last line of defense, dude. Take a proper angle.
Mm.
And... everybody else was just awful on the play.
Yeah, special teams and the defense in general have just been...
terrible. I mean, the defense is terrible. They can't stop any run. I mean, you're giving up 100 yards to Tank Bigsby. This is just inexcusable. I'm sorry, it's inexcusable.
You can't let one player injury affect
the
team this much.
They lost Bentley, and suddenly they have the worst defense in football.
It makes It doesn't make sense.
Do you know what Belichick lost last year? He lost Christian Gonzalez.
Right.
You know who their number 1 corner was last year? Shaun Wade. Shaun Wade's a terrible player. And they had a top 10 defense.
Yeah, it's very clear that the defense was as good as it was because of Belichick.
Very clearly.
But that still doesn't
shouldn't
explain...
be that much of a drop-off. It just shouldn't be.
There's a lot of other bad things he did too.
I don't know if Mayo is just not paying attention to the defense or what. But something has happened. And frankly, there's times when I don't see any effort on defense. They're still letting quarterbacks out of the pocket, inexplicably. Keon White I'm at the point where I don't understand why he's out there. I understand he's your best pass rusher. He is freelancing, and it is obvious. He just doesn't stay in his pass rush lane. And it's very obvious. how long are you going to tolerate it?
Yeah, the defense is very bad.
I mean, I don't understand. Offensively,
Van Pelt needs to be fired.
I can tell you who's offensive on the offense. Jalen Polk.
It's very clear what they were doing in this game with having Polk get as many receptions, or lack of receptions, I'll say, because he didn't catch anything.
Remember what the talk was all week? Oh, we're going to bench Jalen Polk. Not only did they not bench him, I think he got the most snaps of any receiver.
Yeah, he also made the poor decision to say he's got the best hands in the NFL.
Oh, he's got great hands, all right.
He's got hands full of oil and butter.
You could probably put stickum on his gloves and he'd probably still drop the damn thing.
Yeah.
He could cheat and he'd still drop it.
Or he might trip. That'll be his excuse. Because he cost us the 2-point conversion.
He did cost him the 2-point conversion, and that was embarrassing. He dropped a critical one on a third down play that hit him in the hands. I know you took a big hit, dude, but you're an NFL player.
Yeah, come on. Grow up.
Catch the ball.
Grow up a little bit.
Especially when you've dropped everything.
It's very clear that he
Drop
was
it.
being targeted so many times. We think, and I saw a lot of people on Reddit saying
Save
this too,
Elliott
is to
Wolf's
save
job.
Wolf's job. Exactly.
Because apparently they've already given up on Javon Baker. And they're desperate to make... I think... Guys, this team tried to sideline Demario Douglas. Now, supposedly he was sick this game. Funny, he wasn't sick coming into it.
There were no reports of him being ill at all.
There was reports about Javon Baker. No, it seems like a cover-your-ass injury. Maybe I'm wrong, but awfully convenient.
Maybe he really did have an IV in his arm on
Maybe,
the sideline.
but
I don't know.
They didn't show any cameras of it.
No.
So it certainly felt like, let's sideline Demario Douglas again because we were desperate to make Jalen Polk work.
Exactly. That's what it awfully felt like.
Because for some reason you have Kayshon Boutte as your number 5 receiver. I don't know why. He should be your number 2 or number 3 receiver.
Yeah.
Period. He's literally one of your best receivers.
He has clearly recovered from the injury he had in college that sidelined him because he is very good.
He's a good receiver.
Yeah.
He just had an attitude issue last year. It's fixed.
He fixed that, exactly.
He's one of your future best receivers.
Clearly.
Him and Douglas should be 1A, 1B. And, you got Bourne in there too now coming back.
Right. Who played well.
Those are solid 3 receivers.
Right.
Why do you continue to use Jalen Polk?
I don't know what they're trying to do.
Supposedly Jalen Polk got a head injury in this game. With any luck, he's out for a while, and they're going to be forced to use Javon Baker.
Right.
Because he is a terrible player. Terrible. Frankly,
I don't understand the people online who think that he's going to improve because
it's not happening.
he had so many chances today.
He's getting worse.
That I just don't understand how.
He's actually getting worse. And by not benching him, you sent the message that it's okay.
Right, because it sounded like this week that they were going to sideline him for a couple series or something.
No, it sounds like
didn't happen.
It sounds like Elliott Wolf
Stepped in or something?
overrode the coach because Mayo was saying he was going to bench him,
Right.
and they didn't.
I don't know what happened.
Why did you bench Stevenson for fumbling when Polk has more drops than Stevenson has fumbles?
I'm at a loss.
I'm at a complete loss with Jalen Polk. I mean, it's possible he's the worst receiver in football.
It's also possible the team goes 1-16 and we get the number.
Oh, they're
one
going
pick.
to. The only other win on the schedule that I have penciled in is at Miami, and that's assuming Tua doesn't come back.
Which is ridiculous. I don't think he should come back personally. I think he should retire, but whatever.
Maybe Tennessee, but honestly, you can't beat Jacksonville. How can you beat Tennessee? You can't beat Jacksonville.
These last 3 games were like your easy part of the schedule, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the only promising thing is Drake May is good.
Yeah, he's very good.
You're good. But what I'm worried about is because he's going to lose every single start, are you going to kill his confidence?
You also have to fix everything around him.
And the problem is you don't just have to fix the offense now.
The
Now you have to
defense
fix
is the
defense.
best. Yeah, exactly.
How are you going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Because your number 1 pick has to be, if you get the number 1 pick, you have to trade it back a couple of spots, and you have to pick the receiver that's real good.
Unless he goes real early.
He won't go number 1. A receiver never does.
Or he goes late in the first round.
He won't go late in the first round. You'd have to trade back. You'd probably have to pick him at like 3 or 4 or something.
I don't know.
But I mean, you can't pass that up because that's a for sure you can't miss.
Right.
It's a number 1.
They
receiver.
have to pick him no matter what.
So You can't possibly screw up on that.
Then they have to get a couple of tackles,
Yeah,
and
then
a
you have
couple
to
of
get a tackle.
linemen, and they're going to have to obviously go out and get some guys on defense, which they love to do, or Bill loved to do.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to pick
They're
them
going
late
to have to get a bunch of late
first,
DBs, exactly.
your first pick has to be receiver. Your second pick has to be left tackle. Your third pick has to be right tackle.
Yeah.
Because a Winwood at right tackle, I got news for you, it's not working.
No.
He's actually one of the worst right tacklers in football now.
Which I don't understand because he was so good at it
And
last
you just
year.
paid him, and that was a massive mistake.
Is it because the money went to his head?
I don't know.
Because he was so good
It's
last year.
It's possible he's one of those players that cashed in and just now has no effort.
Yeah, maybe.
And
because he was great last year at it.
Something has happened to him, and he is terrible. And unfortunately, if you have to move him back to guard, what are you going to do with Layden Robinson? He's the only guy you drafted that's any good other than Drake May.
I have no idea. I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know. This team has a ton of issues. I mean, now you have special teams issues, you have defensive issues, and your offense, other than Drake May, is terrible. Other than Drake May, Hunter Henry, Kendrick Bourne,
And Pop
Douglas, and Booty. Even the running backs are terrible.
Yeah, they couldn't run for shit today.
So, and defensively, you got, Christian Gonzalez, who, by the way, has been regressing drastically. I don't know if he's just given up or what, but I'm not very impressed with his play lately.
Yeah, he did give up that crazy long throw.
Yeah, he did. McMillan can't tackle.
Tavai is just...
I stopped counting at 8 missed tackles today.
I don't know.
Tavai should be benched.
The team's in disarray.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably it. Now this is probably going to be just nobody caring.
I would think so. I would think that they would just give up.
I'm pretty sure AVP is going to be fired.
Somebody's going to
Somebody's going to be fired after this game. I would be shocked if
somebody
there wasn't,
isn't. Yeah, I would
because
be
of
stunned.
how uncompetitive they were against Jacksonville.
Yeah. I mean, this is not as bad as the Germany game last year, but it's up there. That game was worse.
Yeah, this is bad.
That Colts game was horrendous.
So, I don't know. I'm 50-50 with which coordinator you fire, but you got to fire one of them.
I think defense, personally.
One of them's got to be fired.
I think defense needs to go first.
So, I don't know. But whatever. Next week they play the Jets for another obvious loss, frankly. 2-15 if you're lucky.
I don't see where they would win any other games.
Miami, if Tua is still out, that's it. It's the only win I got.
I don't see. Arizona's crumbling, so maybe.
I'm not even sure how they beat Cincinnati at this point.
No, it's a complete mystery how they lost.
I know Cincinnati is
game.
a god-awful team, but so's Jacksonville. Jacksonville's as bad as Cincinnati.
Right, it's a complete mystery.
And you get blown out by Jacksonville, but not Cincinnati? I mean, Cincinnati has talent that is playing terribly.
Right. They didn't have. They also didn't have as many.
Like everyone
penalties.
says, Jacksonville has all this talent, except they're terrible. They're playing terribly.
Right.
So you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't execute, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And that's what Cincinnati is doing.
Those teams are pretty similar if you actually think about it.
Hey, you have elite receivers.
The Bengals and Jacksonville are very similar.
Everyone sucks on the team.
True.
They're not executing.
Not having a good year, obviously.
You got quarterbacks underperforming to their contracts.
Right. Yeah, both they're very similar,
And
really.
you beat Jacksonville. I mean, you beat Cincinnati, but you lose to Jacksonville.
It makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
Because the teams are similar. They both have the same
They're
sort
the
of
same kind of
problems.
team.
They have the same problems.
Whatever. So, anyway, I mean, at least the games are better to watch because Drake May at least gives you something.
Something to look forward to.
You're supposed to help your rookie quarterback out, and they're just not.
So this is 6 straight losses. The last time that happened in team history was in the bleak era in the early 90s, so that's fun.
Yep. It's probably the worst Patriots team. It's worse than last year, and I didn't even think that was possible.
There's definitely hope, but there needs to be a lot of changes.
Well, you might have a franchise quarterback.
I think that much they can say. In the moment.
They have the potential.
In the moment we can say that, but we also thought that Mac Jones was our savior too, and look what happened there.
Yeah, but Drake May has more talent than Mac Jones ever had.
That's very clear.
Shockingly, Mac Jones didn't get into this game, even though it was a blowout.
He probably should have at the end, but whatever.
Yeah, Jacksonville scored a final touchdown that just made no sense to me. I don't even know why Gerard Mayo was calling timeouts. Just let him knee the clock out.
Right.
The game is over.
Right.
Whatever. All right, we'll end here. Next week we'll cover the future loss to the Patriots to the Jets because they're going to lose that game.
Yeah, that's at home. So another home loss is coming, boys. I don't know why people keep paying to go to these games. They suck.
We're getting very close to when, unfortunately, these games might be blacked out.
Well, luckily for us, we can watch them all. Yay.
Not if they black them out, then you can't.
Why would they black them out?
Because if they don't, if there is a certain number of attendance that's below a certain number, the NFL literally doesn't allow them to air it.
Really?
Yup. Whatever. We'll see you next week. Take care.